got mine. You know. Ask me what I'm doing, just grinding. Haters wanna hate, let them hate, never mind them. Be more bins, tryna reach the next plateau. And I can't stop till I see my toes. Keep a couple feet inside the photos. So official with the vibe, you can kick up my zone. Hold on for a minute, let me count mine. You know.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Damian Cryer, and I am back with another freaking video. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, blessed, and amazing day today. If y'all have not subscribed to the Cryer family, all you gotta do is turn that bell on so you're subscribed to the channel. Also, for the people who did subscribe to the family, I want to say thank you, and welcome to the Cryer family, guys. If you are not following me on TikTok, my TikTok is called The Real Cryer Family. I appreciate you guys who went over there and followed me, man. We are, I think, 15,000 away from 200K, guys. So going over and follow me, man. We will be doing a giveaway once we hit 200K over there. I'm sorry, we're 25,000 away from 200K on TikTok. So, guys, I'm outside. It's early in the morning. My household obviously is still in the bed. Right now, it's raining. So if you hear the little noise in the background, that's the rain dropping from the windows. I will try to kind of edit that noise out of there if I can. So, a couple recent videos I did, I've seen a few questions that a few people asked me. And also, like over on my other platforms, when I posted some videos, like with my children, especially my smaller children, people were asking me the same question. So it's like, since the question was asked so much, it kind of, started standing out to me. And when a question started standing out to me, it made me think about the question more, like, do you think you will be around to see your kids get older? Was the question. And some people asked the question, but it was in like a different way. Some said, you think you'll be around to see your kids get older? Some said, why would you have kids at such an older age, not knowing if you're going to be around? So here's the thing right here. Life has a sick sense of humor, man. I've always said that. Life has a freaking sick sense of humor. And what I mean by that, I could be doing this video right now today, talking to you guys, laughing, kicking it, chopping it up, hearting your comments, responding back to your comments. And then tomorrow, I could be gone. That's how fast it happens. So I'm the type of person, do I believe at my age that I am at risk having children at such an older age? Am I at risk of not being here and leaving my kids without a dad? I would say probably, but probably not. People are living a lot older. I know people who smoke cigarettes, drink every day, smoke weed, do all kind of crazy stuff, and they like in their 80s and 90s still doing the same thing. People always say that this is unhealthy for you, that's unhealthy for you. But hell, waking up every day, going outside, getting in your car is unhealthy for you. Going to your refrigerator every day, grabbing that food out the refrigerator or your favorite beverage is unhealthy for you, because they always having recalls on stuff. Didn't Walmart just have a recall on radioactive shrimp? I mean, anything you do is unhealthy for you, man. Literally. Like I said, getting in your car is unhealthy for you, because it's not your driving you gotta watch. It's the driving of other people that's around you. Anything you do in life is unhealthy. I told you guys before, I had relatives literally go to the restroom just to take a urine and never came out the restroom alive. So you never know when it's going to be your time to go. But as far as like my decision to have children, none of my kids were mistakes. Not one was a mistake. I just felt like, I don't want to live in fear and not want to have children because I feel like tomorrow that I might be gone or next week. God's going to do what he going to do when he feels like doing it. You know, and even as some family members have even asked me the same question, like, hey, you know, you think you're going to be here to see your children graduate and stuff like that? You think that you're going to be around to, you know, walk them down the aisle on a big wedding date? You know, the thing is, I don't know. Am I a little nervous about it? Of course I am, because when I think about my situation and how I grew up with just a mom and not a dad, it still devastated me, even right down to this day at age 55 years old. You know, it still crosses my mind. It still bothers me a little bit, but I guess it would be worse for me if I knew who my dad was and I got close to my dad and I actually lost my dad. So I guess it would hit different. For me, it don't bother me as much because I don't know if the man's dead or alive. Neither do I really care if he's dead or alive. You know, so therefore it don't really bother me. But I know that it probably would devastate my children. You know, I haven't been the best dad, obviously. You know, I've never came online ever, not once, and said I was the best dad. People claimed I was the best dad, but I never said I was the best dad. I never said I was him. But I do think about a lot of stuff people ask me. You know, for instance, I did a video a while back when my son Darian was out here in Houston for his little summer break, and he asked me, you know, and he's 17 years old. He was like, Dad, he said, you gonna be like 70 something years old when this one graduate, 75 years old when this one graduate, you know. And my response to him was, you know, it don't matter. You know, that was my response. It don't matter, because the Bible says, don't worry about tomorrow. Let tomorrow worry about itself. Today has enough trouble of its own. So I'm going to say this right here. A person should be able to have as many children as they want to have, as long as that they could take care of their children. You know, it's not about if you're going to be here tomorrow or not, because there's people that's 18, 19, 20 years old that's passing away every single day. Every single day. So the last thing I'm going to be worried about is me passing away tomorrow or next week. You know, I just think that you should live for today and not worry about what people say as far as, like, you know, how old you are to have children. Hell, there's some moms out there who got too many children to be having children, right? There's dads out there who got too many children to be having children, right? So who's to really put an age on it? I think there's guys my age who can't even have children because, I don't know, medical issues or whatever. Or I guess at some point in your life, your body just stopped producing children. I guess I'm just the type of person, my body is still producing, you know, and I'm not really upset about the gift that I have. But I do know that it's time for me to pull it in a notch, because as me getting older, you know, sometimes, I don't mean to contradict what I said earlier in the video. Sometimes it does cross my mind, you know, like, what if this, what if that? Am I prepared? Hell no, we're never prepared, because we don't know when it's going to happen. But what I do know is that I can't see my children ever being without their dad. I can't see my children being without their dad. I made the choices that I made in life. Nobody forced me to have children. Nobody put a gun in my head, you know, and made me have children. You know, it was my choice, you know, and I felt like I made the right choices. I'm just going to say it. I feel like I made the right choices. So the big question is, do I think I'm going to be around to see my kids graduate? Do I think I'm going to be around to walk my kids down the aisle? I may not be around for all of it, but I'm almost sure that I'll be around for some of it, you know. And I'm going to say this right here. If something were to happen to me right now, today, or tomorrow, if something were to happen to me tomorrow, I gave it my best shot. I gave it my best shot. I proved that I would never be the dad that my dad was to me, to my children. I proved that, you know, I've been in my children's lives. Even when I made mistakes over the years, I was still there for them. And even if I wasn't there for them then, I'm there for them now. And the ones who, you know, decided that to move to different states and stuff like that, we still there for each other. And so I just feel like what's gonna happen is gonna happen. I'm not prepared, like I said, for my children to be without me because I won't be able to see them while I'm gone. I won't be able to know what life is without them. But I do videos with my kids because I want my kids to look back one day and say, okay, you know, I was too young to remember this, but now that I'm older, I can actually see this on television. You know, hell, some of them can even turn on Tubi and see me on Tubi now, you know, thanks to my son and his wife, because they're on Tubi. And I just happen to be in some of those videos, so they can turn on Tubi one day and be like, yo, that's my dad right there. You know, so I would just say this right here. It does make me nervous sometimes. And what I mean by that is, like, when I get my kids, like, one of my children actually lives in the house with me. But when I get my other children and I look at them and I see me through my children, yes, it does cross my mind. It does cross my mind. When they run up to me and say, daddy, 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 they see the big red truck pulling up, they know it's me. They see me at school, they know it's me. You know, so it does kind of cross my mind because, like, as a father, I don't want nobody ever mistreating my kids. I don't want nobody, like, talking to them crazy, talking to them stupid. I don't want nobody putting their hands on my children. I don't want my kids getting in fights at school. I want them to get good grades. I want them to graduate. And so as a dad that's up there in age, yes, I do have my concerns because I want to be there for those moments. You know, if they get bullied on, we all know schools are full of bullies. Like, they're just like flowers. Every time you knock one down, another one of them fuckers pop right up, man. Bullies, they're everywhere, man. They're everywhere. So as a dad, you know, it does kind of cross my mind. But I don't dwell on it the way most of you dwell on it. And the reason why I say that, because a lot of people, like, in my videos, instead of them focusing on the content that I drop, they're focusing on things that don't have anything to do with the video. And people really don't care about you. And people be saying, oh, I mean no disrespect, Mr. Pryor, but this is out of care and concern. Like, bro, stop it. Stop it. You don't care about me, so quit acting like you caring about me. You're commenting your comment to see how many people are gonna like it. But every time you go back to see that comment, it's gone. So you're not gonna get any likes over here. So that be the only people who be worried about my age, is the people who act like that they really don't care. People really don't care about you in real life, bro. If you're not putting out, they don't give two craps about you, bro. They gonna go right over and watch the next person. So my thing is this right here. Do I feel like I'm gonna be around? Yes. I feel like I'm gonna be around for a long time. But like I said, if I go tomorrow, I'm not gonna say that I'm well prepared, because that'd be a lie. We're never prepared because we don't know when it's gonna happen. Like, some people who's, like, dealing with terminal illnesses, like something that they know they got 6 weeks or 6 months to make it, they know when they're gonna go. Like, that clock already started ticking. But for other people who's not really dealing with any type of terminal illness or terminal sickness, you know, they don't know when they're gonna go, so you can't really prepare for it. But you guys see a lot of people who know that they're fin to, you know, go soon. That's why they can prepare. They can prepare their own homegoing. They can prepare their own, some of them even prepare the after pass, even though they're not gonna be a part of the after pass. You guys know how funerals are. After that funeral, once they stick you in the ground, the after pass, they not talking about you anymore. They're eating. They finna go home and change clothes and they finna party. You're out of there. So I just felt like the only way that you can prepare is knowing when it's gonna happen. So the best way that I prepare in case it does happen to me unexpectedly is I try to spend as much time with my loved ones as I can. I've seen one person say that my kids don't want anything to do with me at one time. And it just kind of blew my mind, because it's like, wow, are you with me every day? Are you in my house? Are you on the phone with me 3, 4, 5 times a day? It's like a lot of stuff off camera they don't see, because we don't put it on camera, because family is going to be family, and like I said, everything is not for camera. But I think like even some of my children have even voiced their concern, like my daughter Margaret. Margaret's very boisterous. Margaret's very boisterous. And I believe that's because she's my oldest daughter. I didn't say only. So don't get that misconstrued, because how some people is to be watching these videos. Oh, he said this. I said she's my oldest daughter. So me and Margaret, we go back and forth on a lot of stuff, man. Like we bicker. We bicker. Sometimes we don't speak for a few days, and then we'll call each other or send each other a text message. And it won't even be an apology. It'd be like, I love you. Are you coming over today? Or, I love you. You and the kids come over today? But I remember when my granddaughter Zara was born. You guys probably remember when Margaret's daughter was born, Zara. And I ended up going to the hospital. Me and Darian, we ended up going to the hospital, taking Margaret flowers. And it was a few hours after my granddaughter was born. And me and my daughter did a YouTube video sitting right there on our hospital bed. I may find that video and upload some of it in this video right here, if I remember. And me and my daughter was talking. And at the time, I wasn't expecting no child or nothing. But me and my daughter was talking about marriage. I had made a joke with her. I said, so now that you had a baby, are you, I didn't know her daughter's father at the time, which is now he's her husband. I didn't know him at the time. I had never met him. But me and Margaret was talking about marriage. And I was telling her, I was like, one day I was thinking about getting married. And we went back and forth in a dang on video. I almost literally forgot the camera was running. And she was like, you don't need to be getting married, Dad. You need to be enjoying your life. You need to be enjoying your retirement. Your kid's older, blah, blah, blah. She just went back and forth. And so now here it is a whole year later. And now her dad has a newborn daughter, and so now that we all spend a lot of time around each other, and the more my daughter's around me, the more that she openly voices her concern, wanting to know, Dad, is this going to be your last one? She's really happy for me, because for years, Margaret was the only girl. You know how that feels, man, having 5 brothers and only 1 sister? For years, she was the only girl. And then, come to find out, my last 2 children are daughters. Isn't that something? So she couldn't be happier knowing that she has little sisters. And trust me, Margaret lets it be known that she's the big sister. My other sons, like Akeem, Damon, them, Darian, they all voice their concern too. Like my kids don't really get in my business, because that's the type of relationship that we have. They respect me as a dad. So my kids don't really get in my business, contrary to what you guys may believe. My kids don't get in my business. They understand who I am. They understand who I represent. I'm Dad. Regardless if they like my decisions or not, they agree with the things that I do or not. They may give me their opinion, but they never disrespect my decision. But they all have voiced their opinions, but their opinions as far as concerns, as far as like what the next 20 years looking like for you, Pops. Do you feel like you're going to still be around for the children, for my little brothers and sisters? One of my children even expressed their opinion as far as like, I'm concerned, for your health, because you be complaining about your back sometime. Like right now, it's raining out here. It's raining like I'm mama out here right now. And my back usually be bothering me, but it's not bothering me too bad. But one of my children have, expressed their concerns as far as like my health, my overall health. From time to time, I do get sick. But when I get sick, it's not the type of sick that you guys think. Yes, I am down for a while, literally for like a week. Like I'm coughing and sneezing, sweating and stuff like that. But for the most part, I do work out. I wish I could say that I work out every single day, but I just don't work out every day anymore. But I keep myself fit. I'm eating healthy. I done laid off of a lot of the greasy foods. I didn't say I stopped eating them, but I laid off a lot of the greasy foods. So I did a lot of stuff to increase my life expectancy. When they say when you smoke cigarettes and when you do drugs, they say that you shave off 10 years of your life. And so what I did was I don't do drugs. I don't smoke cigarettes. So a lot of things that I don't do anymore, I believe that I'm actually adding value to my future as far as my life expectancy. So as far as that, I'm getting a lot better at that. But if someone asks me, do I think I'm gonna be around? I don't know. All I can do is just say, I'm gonna keep doing what I have to do as a parent to try to make sure that I'm here for my kids, because I am a guy who grew up without a dad. My mom, she did the best she could with 5 boys and 1 girl. She did the best, she did the best that she could. My mom was a wonderful mom, to be a single parent. And now that I'm older at the age, and I look back on things and say, geez, my mom had 6 kids. How the hell did she do it with us? And she had majority boys, and we was bad as crap, bro. We wasn't listening. We was disrespectful, tearing stuff up, talking crazy, walking back and forth to the refrigerator 20 times a day, eating up everything in the house. I look back and say, I don't know how she did it. But I will say this, man. I plan on being around for my children, but I don't know, like, when God decides to call us home, man, that is what it is. I don't want to be known as the guy, oh, he had all these kids and he just left his kids. When people pass away, most of the time it's not their fault, because they didn't know they were going to pass. They didn't know that things were going to happen. But all I can say is that, I'm trying to right all of my wrongs. You guys seen me say, about 3 or 4 months ago, you guys are not going to see my kids on my YouTube platform anymore. Y'all not going to see my kids in videos anymore. And I did great for a few months, and I turned around and boom, put them right back in the videos. And for me, it wasn't really about the money. I make money regardless. I mean, this ain't the only platform that I'm on every day. So it wasn't really about the money. It's about creating memories. And so I decided to start back putting my kids in videos, because I believe as they get older, they have a right to know more about me, the type of person that I am. I want them to be able to see that they are with me sitting in my house, sitting on my couch with their dad. So if they don't have anything else, any other part of me, they can at least have pictures and hundreds of memories and videos. How many of y'all done moved so much during your lifetime? Y'all don't even have baby pictures of yourself. Y'all done lost pictures of your grandmother. Y'all done lost pictures of your mom. Y'all done lost pictures of your dad. Lost pictures of your grandkids. I'm one of them. I moved from Indiana to Texas. I done moved what? How many times I moved up in Iron, Texas? I stayed in Rosenberg when I first got here. Okay. Then I stayed over in A-Leaf. And then I stayed in Domain. And now I stay out here. So I moved 4 times in 7 years that I've been in Texas. Some of y'all, that may not be a lot of moving, but to me it is, because I'm used to having more stability where I'm in the same place for years. And throughout all those moves I had, I done lost so many photos, so many pictures, so many memories. But when I pull this camera out and I put this SD card into my MacBook and upload it to YouTube, I can go find it anytime I want. And that's what I love about doing this right here and creating these memories with my kids, because they can always go back whether I'm here or not. This is 2025. If I was to leave tomorrow, they can go back 5 years from now when they 8, 9, and 10 years old and say, oh, this was just from 5 years ago. So I don't know, man, but it was a real legitimate question. And the reason why I had to do a video about it, because the question just kept popping up. You know, when somebody asks you something, you be like, I'm not going to answer that. But if you keep seeing the same question, and then I see it on TikTok, I see it on Instagram and I upload a photo, I see it on YouTube and I upload a video. So it's like at some point, I'm going to address this question that people be asking me, because it is a good question. It's a legitimate question. And that's why I felt like it was okay for me to do a video about it, man. But anyway, you guys comment down below if you are an older person and you have kids, younger kids, and if you ever have a fear that you may not be there for your children when they get older. And if you feel that way, how does it make you feel? Does it scare you? Does it terrify you? And if so, what are some of your biggest concerns? Are you scared that you won't be here to see them graduate? You won't be able to be here to see and protect them from getting bullied. You won't be able to take them, you know, watch them go to prom or walk them down the aisle. I know my biggest fear is all of it, man. All of it. But, you know, nonetheless, I love my children with all of my heart. I love all of my children dearly. You know, I'm going to try to be around for as long as I can, you know, but at the end of the day, when it's your time, there's nothing you can do about it. There is no amount of money that could stop it. Michael Jackson, all the celebrities that passed on, multi-millionaires, billionaires, no matter how much money they had, no matter how good of a medical staff they had, no matter how much of the best treatment they had, it didn't matter. When it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go. So you guys comment in the comment section down below what you think, man. Until next time, it's your boy Damian Cryer. I love you guys. I'm out.